What is it about survival games that draws players to them? Is it just the wonder of exploration? The possibility of finding some good loot? Is it about meeting other people and just having adventures through unknown worlds? All open world survival games have a very specific audience. You have to be someone who's okay with failing. Survival is an ironic name for the genre since you'll always die at some point. But I guess that's what the whole point of the games are about, staying alive. DayZ is a game that's difficult to fully explain to someone who has never seen it, never played it, never heard of it. On the surface, it may seem obvious what the game's about. It appears to involve zombies being on this planet, and you are one of the few people left here who must survive. I like to compare the DayZ experience to the show Breaking Bad. This comparison works with basically all TV shows, but if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, the show seems simple enough. There's the main guy, he has to make and sell meth to get some money. However, watching the show, you find that the real interesting parts of the show are with the characters, the relationships they have, how they all play off of each other, and how the characters grow and change over time. The whole show is done so well that you can forget it that it's just about a guy making and selling meth for money. The things that can happen in DayZ are similar in terms of focus. What I mean is that you will find yourself talking about anything and everything in DayZ when you encounter another person. You'll talk about the real world, talk about life, relationships, growing up, telling stories, joking around. Playing the game becomes more about the people you meet, the relationships you can create, how you all play off of each other, and how everyone grows and changes over time. Granted, everyone survives. It's about the journey, how you got where you ended up. You forget that you're just playing a zombie survival game. I believe there are three main aspects of DayZ that make it one of the most impressive and immersive survival games that you can play today. First, the unique player encounters and the different kinds of characters that you can meet. You may meet the friendliest person in the world who just happens to be looking for a partner for their journey. You may also just be running through some trees at a building or having a conversation with somebody and you hear a sudden crack and are met with a "you are dead" screen. The different feelings from not knowing how life in DayZ will go or end up is what makes every decision that you make so thrilling. Second, the community around DayZ knows what makes the game fun and why we all love to play it. What started out as a mod for the Arma series has become its own game just due to the sheer popularity of it. There are servers and regions all over the world with communities that have moderators and admins to ensure that people don't exploit the game and get away with it. The game's population and overall interest has steadily increased over the years. Finally, the mechanics and the way that the game plays, or can be played, is ultimately unique to DayZ. Now, I know the game has been and continues to be an absolute bugfest, from activating a heat pack like a handheld radio to the dreaded ADS and hand bugs. I still believe, overall, that the intended mechanics are easy to learn, hard to master, and ultimately a useful tool in the player's hands. Before we get into it, I want it clear that I'm playing DayZ on PC exclusively, and all of the information in this video pertains to my experience playing only on PC. Starting out with the encounters. Meeting new people is a part of the whole DayZ experience, and playing the game without using a microphone is bound to get you killed. Many players enjoy teaming up with people they don't know. You'll find yourself grouping with people simply by circumstance at first and then grow to actually enjoy someone's company, or the opposite. Meeting someone who speaks a different language from you is not uncommon in DayZ, and you may need to speak through single words or miming actions if you can't explain something. Even with the lack of regular communication, you will still find the ability to say what you need with the game's emotes or just through sheer will and repeated attempts. I find the runs that I have with people that lack a large English vocabulary are typically more engaging, simply by the fact that we both have to try harder to understand what the other is saying and what they need. DayZ is not an easy game either. Is it easier to survive on your own, where you can hoard all the medicine, food, and weapons to yourself? Or is it better to group up and distribute the supplies among a few players to ensure that you all survive? One of the best parts of playing DayZ is meeting someone new. You have to gauge if you trust the other person, if you think they may betray you, or maybe if you want to betray them. You have the option to choose what you want to do in any situation. Guns blazing, talking your way out of it, or performing the old George Washington, tactical retreating. You can meet people that you want to connect with even if you die, now with Discord communities. If you're running with someone and you're sniped mid-conversation or in a firefight, you can always wish your comrades good luck or sing your praises in the server chat to hopefully connect again. The DayZ community is known for connecting people from all different parts of the world through the love of the game. If you are completely new to DayZ when you first open the game, you will be asked to choose a server to join. Some people only play on official public servers, while the majority of players prefer to join a community server. The official servers tend to be unmoderated and can lead to experiences with people hacking or using some other sort of game exploit. The community servers tend to have some sort of structure, some admins and rules in place to ensure that everybody has an equal and fair experience. There are many different communities with DayZ servers that players all around the world can connect to and play on. Some of my personal favorites that I recommend are the Day 1 servers, the Zero servers, Green Hell DayZ, and DayZ Intense. There are, of course, many other communities with their own admins and servers to ensure an equal play experience in any part of the world that you live in. If you are looking for a server, I suggest hopping in the Community tab and sorting the server list by ping to find the most populated servers with the least lag issues. The DayZ community is incredibly supportive of new players who play this game, the content creators, and a little bit of support for the devs. The people that play this game want to help those that don't understand. We want people to be able to survive and thrive in the brutal and buggy world of DayZ. Content creators can help you with learning the game, show you an adventure, or simply show you a different way of doing things. On Twitch, DayZ is a very popular game, and many of the top streamers average 1,000 to 5,000 viewers when they are live. The randomness of this game is alluring, and when you pair that with a person that you find entertaining or is just very skilled at the game, you're almost sure to want to tune in and just see what happens. You can learn to play like Smoke, wiggle and lean, and quickscope people from miles away, or be more like Lyric and chase people around with a garden hoe while screaming into the microphone. There are virtually no limits to how you can play the game and approach different situations. Not many other games can create such an environment. The way you survive in DayZ is keeping your health and blood above 0. Easy. You avoid this by fighting off zombies, other players, and utilizing medicine and food when you need it. On the public DayZ servers, you can build bases and have a collection of items and/or vehicles stored in a relatively safe space. However, on the hardcore community servers that I play on, there are no base building mechanics. The intention behind these kinds of servers is to increase player interaction and force players to be more decisive with the items that they carry and pick up. I believe that playing the game this way provides an almost battle royale-like element to DayZ that makes each life feel valuable and important. DayZ also has a dynamic day and night cycle as well as having weather. The day and night cycle is server dependent, and most servers opt to speed up the time of nighttime since most people can't see and will understandably leave a server if they're blind. The weather mechanics in DayZ are not very complex, but there are different weather patterns for the different seasons. In spring and summer servers, you can experience thunderstorms and rainfall, which makes your clothes wet and you cold. In the winter servers, there are snowstorms and blizzards, which can obscure your vision. Blizzards will also make you wet, causing you to start to freeze if you don't find a shelter and a fire to dry off. One of the most unique features of DayZ's world design is the dynamic ocean tide. If you were to just sit your camera by the ocean and watch it on the shore, it will gradually rise and fall throughout the server's day and night cycle. I have no idea how this works, but I found it to be a fascinating feature in the game. Also, the time of day it is in-game determines your likelihood of catching a fish, as in real life. Cool stuff. All of the items and mechanics in DayZ have a specific intended use. Everything works simple enough once you understand each item's purpose and capabilities. However, you are not given any explanation on how to survive in the game. You are not told what to look for or where you should go. You'll need to explore, ask other players questions in-game, and hopefully you'll get an answer instead of a bullet. It's a game that rewards those who venture further into the world and are able to overcome the obstacles along the way. You may have an experience unlike any story that can be told. Before we wrap up, I have some final thoughts that I want to get to. The developers of the game, Bohemia Interactive, are notorious for their decisions and some of the changes that they make with DayZ. It cannot be overstated that the game suffers from bugs, and it seems that new issues are created with every new patch that's intended to fix some other problem. I put around 300 hours into the DayZ mod for Arma and was ready for the standalone to release. I remember playing the DayZ standalone when it first came out in 2013, and it was just an absolute mess. It was unoptimized, it was not fun, my computer didn't run it very well. I put in around 30 or so hours of me just trying to play Chernarus, official servers, and never finding any good loot, until eventually giving up. I never had the experiences like the guys in the YouTube adventure videos, and I thought it was impossible for me. I put DayZ down again until really getting back into it in early 2022. It seemed like the game was at its peak, but instead, it kept growing in popularity. DayZ now is more popular than it's ever been, and there does not seem to be an end in the interest in this game anytime soon. Until the game comes out that has better visual graphics, mechanics, maps, and premise, I believe DayZ will remain the king of the open world survival simulator. In closing, I'd like to say that I'm very hopeful for the future of DayZ. The game is truly one of a kind and can give you an experience unlike any other. While DayZ is not the only game that I play, it stands as my favorite survival game of all time. The people that I've met and the experiences that I've had on DayZ, good and bad, I would not have been able to have on any other game. For that, I want to thank DayZ for bringing the gaming world just a little bit closer together. We're all just survivors here, trying our best to make it in an unforgiving world. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this kind of video and want to see other videos like this, Make sure to let me know in the comments below. Also, liking and subscribing helps me out very much. And make sure you follow me on Twitch, where you can catch me live every so often. I'd love to see you there.